I was 6 years old when my mother told me she was going to the store and never came back. Not that night, not the next day, not ever. For years, I waited. 23 years later, she stood at my front door, crying, shaking, begging me to call her mum again. And what I said to her changed everything. Chapter 1. The day she left that morning started like any other. The smell of toast. The sound of the TV in the background. The sunlight coming through the window. I was sitting on the floor with my toy cars when she walked past me, pacing. She had her purse in her hand, her keys clenched tight, and her face looked distant. "Mum," I asked. She stopped, smiled quickly, and said, "I just need to run an errand. I'll be back soon." She kissed my forehead, a quick kiss, like she was already halfway out the door. Then she left. I waited. At first I thought she was stuck in traffic. Then I thought maybe the store was crowded. Then it got dark. Grandma cooked dinner. I didn't eat. I sat by the door, waiting. She never came back. That night, my grandmother tucked me into bed and told me, "Your mother isn't coming home." I didn't cry. I just stared at the ceiling, confused, because how does a child understand that someone who promised to love them forever could leave forever instead? Chapter 2. Growing up without her life didn't stop just because my world did. School started. Birthdays came and went. Time moved forward even when my heart stayed stuck. Other kids talked about their mums. My mum packed my lunch. My mum came to my game. My mum came to my game. My mum helped me with my homework. I learned how to nod and smile without saying much. Mother's Day was the hardest. Every year, the teacher would say, "Make a card for your mum." I would sit there, holding a crayon, staring at a blank piece of paper. What do you write to someone who left you? Sometimes I made a card for my grandmother. Sometimes I pretended I was sick that day. But every year, it hurt. I used to wonder what she was doing. Was she thinking about me? Did she miss me? Did she regret leaving? Or had she forgotten me completely? Chapter 3. The questions that never left as I got older. The questions didn't stop. They just got heavier. Was I not enough? Did I cry too much? Did I need too much? Did I make her tired? Children always blame themselves. I told myself stories to survive. Maybe she was sick. Maybe she had to leave. Maybe she planned to come back. Hope became my way of protecting myself. But every year she didn't return, that hope slowly turned into something else. Disappointment, anger, silence. Chapter 4. Learning to live without her. By the time I reached my teenage years, I stopped waiting. Not because I had healed, but because I had learned how to survive without expecting anything. I stopped asking questions, stopped talking about her, stopped hoping. Instead, I focused on becoming strong. I worked harder than everyone else, studied longer, stayed later, asked for nothing. Independence became my shield. If I didn't need anyone, no one could leave me again. That's what I told myself. Chapter 5. Building a life she never saw years past. I graduated, got a job, moved out. I built a life she never witnessed. My first apartment, my first promotion, my first real sense of peace. People looked at me and said, "You're so strong," but they didn't see the part of me that still felt like a 6-year-old waiting by the door. I wasn't broken, but I wasn't whole either. Chapter 6. The knock at the door. It was a quiet afternoon. Rain tapping against the windows. The kind of day where everything feels slow. Then I heard a knock. Not a normal knock. Not confident, soft, hesitant. I wasn't expecting anyone. I opened the door. At first, I didn't recognize her. Her hair was thinner, her face older, her eyes tired. Then she said my name. Not just my name, the nickname she used when I was little. And suddenly, everything came rushing back. My chest tightened. My hands started shaking. "I'm your mother," she said. And then she started crying. Chapter 7. Her apology. We sat in silence for a long time. She cried. I stared. She said she was sorry, that she had made the biggest mistake of her life, that she thought about me every day. She told me she was young, that she was scared, that life had been hard. She said she never stopped loving me, and for a moment I wanted to believe her, because deep down, every abandoned child wants one thing: to hear that they were never unwanted. Chapter 8. The question that changed everything. After she finished talking, I asked one question: why now? She looked down, she hesitated. Then she said something that made my heart sink. I didn't have anyone else. Not I missed you. Not I regret what I did. Not I want to fix this. I don't have anyone else. In that moment, I understood. She didn't come back because she finally realized my worth. She came back because she ran out of options. Chapter 9. The war inside me. My heart was split in two. One side wanted to forgive her, to finally have a mother, to fill the space that had been empty for so long. The other side remembered the nights I cried alone, the birthdays she missed, the years she chose not to come back. Forgiveness. I isn't easy when someone didn't just hurt you. They erased themselves from your life. Chapter 10. The 6 words I had been waiting to say. I stood up. My hands were shaking, not from fear, but from truth. I looked at her and said, "You don't get to abandon me twice." She broke down. She begged. She said she had changed. But I stayed calm. Not cold, not angry, just honest. Chapter 11. Choosing myself. I didn't yell. I didn't insult her. I didn't seek revenge. I simply chose myself. I told her I hoped she found peace. I told her I forgave her. But forgiveness didn't mean access. And then I closed the door. Not with anger, with strength. Chapter 12. What I learned. For years, I thought healing meant getting answers. But healing came when I stopped needing them. I learned that love that disappears isn't love. Apologies don't erase years of silence. Forgiveness doesn't require reconnection. And self-respect is the strongest form of revenge. Final message to the viewer. If you've ever been abandoned by a parent, by a partner, by someone you trusted, I want you to know this: their decision to leave was never a reflection of your worth. You survived without them. You grew without them. You became strong without them. And that strength, that's something no one can take away. Closing CTA. If this story touched your heart, subscribe for more real emotional stories. And remember, sometimes the strongest revenge is living a beautiful life without the people who chose to leave you.